Be honest with me for a second. Ever stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m., replaying one moment from your 20s that still haunts you? The mistakes, the risks you didn't take, the opportunities you ignored, and thought, if only I could go back. It hits you at random moments, doesn't it? In the shower, while driving, right before bed. That quiet, sinking feeling of, I should have done better. Most men don't talk about regret, but almost every man carries it. Your 20s were supposed to be exciting, so full of freedom, discovery, and growth, but instead, many of us spend that decade confused, scared, or pretending we know what we're doing while we're silently falling apart. Now you're older and the past feels heavier. You wonder if you lived the first half of your life performing someone else's script, the people you hurt, the dreams you postponed, the potential you never fully stepped into. You look at your life now and wonder if you'd be further ahead if you just made different choices. And worst of all, regret makes you feel stuck in a life you're not even sure you chose. Let me tell you about someone. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan is 31. Good job. Decent apartment. He's doing fine. But inside, something keeps pulling him backward. He regrets not finishing school. He regrets staying in a relationship he knew wasn't right. He regrets not trying harder, not believing in himself sooner, not taking a single real risk because he was terrified of failing. And every time something goes wrong in his life now, his mind drags him back to the past. If you weren't so scared back then, you wouldn't be here now. Look at your friends. You're behind because of your own mistakes. You ruined your own future. These weren't facts. They were wounds, old ones he never let heal. One night, Ryan came home from work, dropped his bags on the floor, and just sat there in silence. He felt this deep ache. Not physical, but emotional, the kind of pain you can't point to, but you feel everywhere. He realized he'd spent years punishing himself for decisions he made when he was young, scared, and trying his best with the little clarity he had. He whispered, I wasted so much time. And it broke him, not because he couldn't change the past, but because regret had become the lens he saw himself through. It was eating away his confidence, his hope, and his ability to move forward. The shift didn't come from a quote, a video, or a sudden moment of clarity. It came from something simple. Ryan told a friend what he'd been carrying, the shame, the guilt, the constant replaying of the past. And his friend said, man, you're blaming yourself for decisions you made with information you didn't have yet. That hit him like a punch. For the first time, Ryan realized something. He wasn't regretful because he failed. He was regretful because he grew. He became wiser. And now he was judging his old self from a higher level of understanding. That wasn't a sign of failure. It was a sign of evolution. Go of regret didn't happen overnight. It wasn't a clean, inspiring montage. It was slow, uncomfortable, honest. He started dumping the noise in his head onto paper. No filter, no grammar, just truth. Not to rewrite the past, but to understand it. He wrote down the decisions he regretted and asked himself, what version of me made this choice? What was he afraid of? What did he need back then that he didn't get? For the first time, he met his younger self with compassion instead of judgment. He began walking in the evenings, letting his mind breathe without drowning in old memories. He created boundaries with people who reminded him of the past and with thoughts that no longer served him. He forgave himself, not in a dramatic way, but in small moments where he reminded himself, I was doing the best I could. And slowly the weight began to lift, not disappear, but become lighter. Here's the truth you might need to hear. Regret is not a sign you ruined your life. It's a sign that you've grown into a man capable of seeing your past clearly. You couldn't have been who you are today without the mistakes you made back then. Your 20s weren't wasted, they were training. The confusion, the failures, the lost time, it all shaped the wisdom you carry now. You don't need to erase your past. You just need to stop weaponizing it against yourself. Because the man you are today deserves a future, not a prison made of memories. If this message hit close to home, you're not alone. Feel free to subscribe. Only if it helped lighten something inside you. And if you want to share your story, drop one word in the comments that your 20-year-old self needed to hear. You're not broken, you're becoming one small shift at a time.